Now, to a class action suit filed on Thursday over state lawmakers raiding the pension fund for law enforcement officers and firefighters. This is the LEF One Fund. Now, the retired first responders argue this maneuver really leaves their pension system vulnerable to like market downturns, and they believe it is wholly unconstitutional. Now, this law was signed by Governor Bob Ferguson just last month, and it terminates what supporters of the bill believe is an overfunded pension account. They say at the end of June 2029, based on this bill, that fund will basically expire. Survivors, those still receiving benefits from this pension program, will be rolled over into a different one. And they believe there's plenty of money in there, and we can take up to $4 billion from the Left One pension program, backfill some of that into the rainy day fund, which they just emptied out for other budget priorities. And they don't believe there's going to be any issue with it, that everybody will still have plenty of money to receive the pension benefits that they are promised. But those pension recipients are not convinced that that's the way things are going to play out. Former King County Sheriff Dave Reichert, former candidate for governor here in the state of Washington, is also the current secretary of the Left One Pension Fund. And I spoke with him on Thursday, and he basically said, this is so hugely disrespectful to law enforcement and firefighters who, in many cases, were wounded, left with mental health issues after serving, and deserve to make sure that this fund is not rated for other priorities that lawmakers might seem, these priorities that lawmakers decide are more fitting. And in his opinion, there is nothing more important than making sure those who serve and protect us are taken care of.
The sad part of it is that, there are only about 5,500 of us left alive. And so, and the figure that I last heard is that we're losing about 8% a year. So that's only going to increase as we get older. So, if you figure 10% a year, we're going to lose 500 people a year out of 5,000. That's not too long, and we'll all be gone anyway. But what happens is there is a feeling amongst these 5,500, and they're law enforcement officers and they're firefighters and then their beneficiaries, which are usually their spouses. And they range in age from about 72 to 90 or so. And so as they raid this fund, and it's not really a surplus fund, it's more defined as a trust fund. Um, they are creating a lot of stress for these senior citizens who have been through a lot of trauma, seen a lot of traumatic, disgusting things in their career that affected some with PTSD. Others, like myself, I've had two major back surgeries, four knee surgeries as a result of um, getting hit head on by some idiot in my police car back in the day. And then people just dealing with the stress. If you think about just my own personal experience of collecting um, collecting bodies, body after body after body for 9 years in Green River, um, or friends that have had, tried to arrest people who uh, got into a wrestling match with them and over the cliff they went, broke their back, and they're dealing with those issues still today. They don't go away. And so we're all looking at this, and I'm talking to Left One cops that I haven't talked to for a while that are reconnecting with me, which is the positive of all this. But they're all going, "What happened? We put." Gosh, I didn't mean to get emotional here, but their stories are just so sad and powerful. That is so disrespectful, is what they see. Just so disrespectful that the state, without any consultation at all, just went ahead and say, you know what? We have mismanaged our budget. And so what we're going to need to do basically is just to take money from retired cops and firefighters and their beneficiaries.
Now, the lawsuit is directed at the Office of the Attorney General and also at the Department of Retirement Systems. And both of those groups emailed very brief responses to our request for a comment. Mike Falk in A.G. Brown's office wrote, "Our office is still reviewing this filing." And then the Department of Retirement Systems responded to say, "We respect the legal process and are unable to comment while the issue is being litigated." So, not highly unusual to receive just such a brief response when there's litigation here involved. But again, this is a class action. So, you've got potentially every single one of the remaining 5,000 plus folks in the left retirement, left one retirement pension program parties to this lawsuit. So we're going to be interested to follow this for you in the weeks and the months to come.